Hey guys, it's Rachel Castile. Welcome to Mind Map Wednesday. This is where we untangle the patterns of your personality so that you can live with clarity and in more alignment with your true self. And today we're going to be talking about burnout, not just stress, but that deep internal fatigue that doesn't go away whenever you take a nap or you take a weekend off. The kind of burnout that makes you feel disconnected from yourself, where your patterns stop working and your energy feels like it belongs to someone else. Let's talk about why that happens and how your animal stack might be the reason. So first off, let's talk about what does burnout actually mean in objective personality. So in OPS, it's not just about being tired. It's what happens when your energy system becomes imbalanced, when you're operating in a way that your cognitive wiring can't actually sustain it long term. And OPS teaches us that energy flows through 4 channels. That is play, consume, blast, and sleep. Each of these animals manage your interaction with energy differently. So for play, it uses energy externally and interactively. Consume absorbs energy internally and curiously. Blast pushes energy outward with structure. And sleep, it recycles energy inward through rest and reflection. And when these are out of sync, burnout follows. And that looks different for all of us depending on what our animal stack is. And next, I'm going to show you a visual of the 4 animals, how they function, and that we each lead with 2, and then we struggle, we resist 2 of them. So here is the 4 animals here. So 2 of them are energy oriented and 2 of them are info oriented. So they're all energy, but as a coin, these are both energy related and these are information related uses of our energy. So starting out, play is the DE, the extroverted decider, paired with the extroverted observer, the OE process. And play is used to engage, respond, and react, very real-time interaction with the extroverted 2 functions of your type. Again, no matter what your type is, we all have 2 extroverted processes, 2 introverted. An introverted decider, an extroverted decider, an introverted observer, an extroverted observer. So this is true for all of us. And then the next animal is sleep. And sleep is the DI, the introverted decider, paired with the introverted observer to reflect, to process, to mull over, and to come to a conclusion, to think about information that's already been gathered, and to make a personal decision on it, to process it. And then our info-oriented coin is blast and consume. So starting with blast, blast is the extroverted decider paired with the introverted observer to teach, to explain, to direct, to produce something. It's taking the known information, having it really refined, and then sharing the known patterns, known concrete details, and sharing it with the tribe to explain something, to teach, to give from what you already know, basically. And then consume, if you can see that with the color. But yeah, consume is the introverted decider paired with the extroverted observer to learn, to observe, to absorb. So it's taking in new information for the self, for the identity, DI. So yeah, as you can see, these 2 are both kind of ambivert. They use a extroverted process and an introverted process. These up here, play uses 2 extroverted processes, sleep uses 2 introverted processes. So, but in conclusion, for all of us, we all lead with 2 of these. You can have these mix matched around. You'll have a savior energy animal. You'll have a savior information animal. So some types that are information or like infodoms, that means that they have blast and consume in their top 3. They'd be an info-dominant type. So one's going to be the savior, but the other one they can do as well. It just might drain them after a while, versus the other one may be like energizing to them. So if you're an energy dom type, that means in your top 3 in your stack, It means that play and sleep are in the top three. But still, you're going to have one of these as a savior, sleep over play or play over sleep, even if you still have the other one in the top three. But essentially, you're not going to be a play sleep type. You're not going to be a blast consume type right next to each other as saviors. We have a savior energy animal and a savior info animal, and then the other ones follow after that. So in the end, this creates your unique animal stack, but it also creates your unique imbalance as well. So now we're going to look at the two pitfalls that lead to burnout. These are two things that I've observed that I want to bring out that I think plays a big part in different ways that we could feel burnt out. It could be from overusing your lead animals, but it could also be from forcing your last animal as well. So I'm going to explore both of those and how we can find like a healthy balance. Like, what is our rhythm? What does flow for us look like? And how to not fall in one of these ditches, these two extremes. So starting with overusing your lead animal. These are your most natural instinctive animals. They run the show, and if left unchecked, they can run you into the ground. They really can. You can like binge, like picture drinking versus being an alcoholic. Not that I advise taking drugs, but it's like if you take a little bit or you overdose. So overusing something that comes natural to you can really be detrimental to you. I'll go into mine a bit. Like, I am consume, play, savior. So it could be easy for me to just take in information and process with the tribe and just be out there interacting, just loving to be in that sort of space. And I could never like share what I already have gathered. I could not really even process my life as much, but just take in new stuff, not reflect on the past, things like that. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. So let's look at the play consume type. So flipping from mine, the play consume type might constantly take in and respond without ever processing, and they can crash from overstimulation. There we go. Overstimulation. So yeah, that would be just like being out there with people, taking in, kind of similar thing to what I described for me. But even like an even greater aversion to sleep processing, to actually producing something, going somewhere in life. Yeah, could just be like binging on interaction, binging on information. And I would say the vulnerability or like the tendency of this could be like not feeling fulfilled, that like you're not actually in touch with the self. You're not in touch with what matters to you. You're not building something in a direction. You're not, let me think about that. Yeah. There could be a lack of fulfillment from being in touch, that who you are is so tethered or related to your activity and just staying moving, but the motion might not be meaningful. It might not be that you've checked in with yourself. You might not be integrating your path to be something that you'd want like to end up in, like a direction of fulfillment. So yeah, that's something I'm seeing about that, like the negative of the overstimulation. It can just be like you don't even know that you're burnt out until you just crash, And then now let's look at an opposite of that, and that is sleep blast. A sleep blast type might spend a lot of time processing and planning, but rarely engage with new information or real-time feedback. So yeah, think about that. You're really resolving on just your own views, the things you've been through. You're organizing your information. You're planning things out. You've got, what you want, but you're not taking in anything new. You're not engaging with people. It's what you're doing doesn't have much social traction. So you can burn out on just the same old, doing the same type of work. Nothing to really show for your inner world, maybe. There's a lot of simulating this out, and I'd love to hear like how you've seen this. Like if you know your animal stack, I'd love to hear your stories, because I'm kind of just simulating ideas around what that could be. But yeah, so also without movement or new energy, they could get stuck in their head and spiral into mental fatigue. Yeah, just being stuck in that place that it's not, you haven't executed, you haven't begin to build with people, the play, the actual involving people in what you're doing and what you have in your inner world. It's like it's not having any external community around it, things like that. It might not land with the tribe because you've just been sleeping on your known information. You haven't updated the file, Yeah. So there's exhaustion in that. And the term burnout, I'm like looking at the term and how it applies in all of these scenarios. But so in other words, there's some types of burnouts that would be discerned in the way that we think about burnout, right? You're just exhausted, but there is an exhaustion of like not being on your path, where you're kind of doing what's familiar, but it's not fulfilling. You're not in flow. You know that you're not living out your potential. You haven't given legs to your ideas yet, and this is the animal world. How do we use our energy? We have an addiction to a certain flow of our energy and a resistance towards these other avenues. And if you think about like not having circulation in your hands, not having circulation in a part of your body, it dries up, it dies, it feels weird. It's like something's wrong. Like it might have to be amputated if you don't get the energy moving there. So picture it more like that. The term burnout in this sense could be like that. Maybe something is very much dead, dried up. There's no circulation. And you have like an overuse in a certain area. So that's what we're looking at. Ultimately, you can't live only in your comfort zone, because even your favorite animals drain you if they're not supported by the others. I've seen this where I could consume and consume and consume and consume. I could watch hours and hours and hours of video, and I'm like, I get to this point where it's like this consume sickness of like, I'm really going to watch another episode. I'm going to watch a whole nother season of a show. I'm going to watch like hours and hours and hours of videos. Like I need to get out and like move beyond my consume. I need to begin to do something with all that I've learned. And I guess when I think about like maybe a blast burnout, it's like you're just a workaholic. Like you could just be doing the same thing all the time. You're not taking in new information. You're not resting. You're not reflecting on if this job is even like good for you. You're just like, yeah, you could be like, I don't know, a blast. What like paired with? I'm thinking of pairings in my head right now. And then my brain's like, is that accurate? But yeah, it could be like maybe blast sleep, where you are like, you're resolved. You could be really resolved on what you're doing maybe in the sleep, but because you're not playing and because you're not consuming, you could be a workaholic for a career, for institution, work there for 40 years, and you just get used up because you've slept on some type of belief that like this is all there is for me. I think that's a very real example. I want to make this practical. Yeah, my ESTP practicality. Yeah, I think like blast with sleep could maybe look like that, where yeah, you've resolved on something and you're just doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You're just working away. And if you don't update your sleep with some new information, with some input from play, you could be stuck in a place that you're not meant to be. Maybe you're not actually not living a life that is in harmony and flow with your full design. So ultimately, we're not just our savior animals. We are the whole person. We don't need to flip over. I'm going to go into that next, is try to be what we're not. That's what we're going to look at now. Actually trying to just major on the thing that is your weakness isn't necessarily the right path either. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's look at the other pitfall, is forcing your last animal. On the flip side, some people try to fix themselves by becoming the opposite of who they are. They try to improve by pushing their weakest animal into overdrive. But when you live in your shadow without support, it backfires. Yes. I have an example of that myself. I am sleep last. So, my biggest weakness is like planning. It's processing and seeing my patterns, reflection. So it's related to me being NI. So as an ESTP, it's NI, and then my TI, and it's completely feminine in there. So that's been like a bit of an insecurity around communicating this abstract feminine vision of my inner world, and like to sit with it, to observe what it is, to define it, to honor my intuition, to honor my beliefs, to honor what I want in life, those sorts of things, to resolve on that, to define it. And then the blast being, so my stack is consume, play, blast, sleep. So to then blast from that inner feminine world of abstract logic, which is what I'm doing to make a video. And I got overwhelmed by that a lot. And I have gone in times where I feel like I've had to live super like planned out. Everything's planned. My whole day is a certain way every day, or I did it wrong. Like the most opposite side of free flow, ESTP, live in the moment, where everything is super planned out. Think of like, this is the sleep blast side of me. Yeah, I'm just thinking of like a time in my life. I don't know that I've gone all out forcing the last animal, but I can see like I've tried to be the opposite of myself a lot in my life. And I wasn't giving myself like the play that I like, I would say, where there's like a fear of the play whenever I'm in a state that is so locked into the plan. So it's like pushing out anything that's not pre-planned. It's judging myself by the expectation I put on myself. And so something that's helped me a lot as a sleep last person, even in my content, is like I plan in blocks. I plan on a day of the week. I'll even say I've had to like guard myself on this. It's been a journey to not over put myself in a planning state all the time, because it can become anxiety for me. Honestly, it's like I could be anxious about planning, anxious about what video am I going to do next? Oh gosh, it would be horrible if I come to a point that like I don't have another video planned out, and like it's time to upload a video on the day that I said I would post videos, you know? So yeah, it's like finding a structure that is healthy for me, but then how to flow in that as an ESTP. That's something I've had to find balance in, that the planning state of mind doesn't consume my thoughts anxiously all week long, that I stay so deep in planning mode all the time that like I'm burning out. I'm not even like available for the things that do fill me up. I haven't consumed anything, I'm not playing, I'm not interacting. I'm just like letting the thing I fear create my schedule. I think that's what it looks like for me. So that was a long explanation on that, but so let's look at what it could look like for different types. So sleep less, which is what I am. Another example is trying to journal every day and meditate for hours all the time. It might feel fake, frustrated, or restless to do that all the time. So yeah, for me, journaling helps me process, help me to see my emotions, see what I'm processing, how I feel about things, what's bothering me, where I want to go, what matters to me. As I journal, it helps me see that. And this isn't even every day now, but like my like prayer time, my meditation time, I would just like journal maybe 20 minutes a day. And it's still not even every day now, but it's incorporated in my life. It's a time of reflection. And maybe more still isn't overdoing it, but still, when you look at the whole day, it's not a state that I'm just in all the time. So yeah, but trying to do it all the time, trying to meditate all day long might feel like unnatural in the long term if you just like shut off your saviors and just go all in on the last one. Another example, a consume last type trying to endlessly research before acting might spiral into self-doubt and procrastination. Yeah. So think consume last doesn't really want to do the research. They just want to go off of what they already know. But being in this place all the time isn't actually good for them either. It's better to just bring it in like a time block, a way that you do it here and there, maybe systematically. So yeah, I'm going to get into that a little bit more, some solutions. But ultimately, you're not broken for struggling with your last animal. Something has to be last. We give our energy to certain things. Certain things exhilarate us. Certain things get like it's a natural flow. So it's more about just finding what does integrating it look like. But also, you are misaligned if you build your life around it. Yeah. That was connected to the previous sentence. Let me say it again. You're not broken for struggling with your last animal, but you are misaligned if you build your life around it. Yeah. All concluding on what I said already. So now what is the solution? Let's look at that. It all starts with being aware. Ask yourself, am I stuck in my leads, always doing, reacting, or over processing without balance? Or am I forcing what drains me, trying to fix myself by becoming someone I'm not? Once you name the pattern, you can shift it. Not by flipping your stack, but by integrating support in some way. Some small way, maybe something in the week. For consume types, that could look like just a gentle encouragement to share what you know. All the information you're taking in, all the things that you love learning about. Maybe find a time with some friends. Like, hey, y'all, I want to talk to y'all about what I've been consuming. Let me tell you about what I've been learning the last month. I got to tell you about this country I've been studying. Let me tell you about it. Blast types, what does it look like to integrate support? Blast types might need permission to slow down and observe. Try listening. That may sound sarcastic. But yeah, as a blast type, you're more inclined to talk, you're more inclined to produce. So just sit back and maybe just practice it. Maybe it could just be a day that you practice it. It's like, it's Saturday. I'm going to practice just listening. I'm not going to be as talkative. I'm going to be inquisitive. I'm going to ask questions. When you ask questions, you learn. So yeah, it doesn't mean that your flow is wrong. Like, blasters need to go and do the things that they need to do. They need to lead in the ways that they need to lead. But yeah, find a way to do it. Put it in your schedule. Don't define yourself by consume if you're a blast type. For play types, you might need containers that invite reflection. Yeah, so this is kind of like, how can I begin to sleep process in certain ways? It could be something I like to do as a high play type is to turn the lights off and sit in a dark room and turn on like some frequency music. So it's everything that just tunes out external stimulation completely. You could put on some like headphones where you can't hear the room around you. You can tell everybody in your life like, hey, I'm not going to be available for the next hour. All the people that are most inclined to call you and bang on your door and like expect something of you, because of play type, you probably got all these hangout buddies that are showing up all the time. Stereotype here. But yeah, so that's something you can do it in your own way. That's just something I think of. Maybe go for a long walk. Maybe being out in nature by yourself might make you go into a reflective state. And do that once a week. Go do that, and then maybe journal on the things that came up for you. This is kind of a play version of sleep. But you could like do a video blog as well. Like you can just turn on like your camera on your computer and like talk to yourself and process with yourself and see what comes up. And then you can maybe journal on those things. Sit back and meditate. And yeah, that's how you incorporate sleep as a play type. And then for sleep types, you might need moments of activation that reconnect you with the world. Yeah, you could be highly in your inner world, organizing and planning and refining and coming to conclusions and all of that inside yourself, reflecting on life. And then how to get into play. Go to the party that you're invited to. Maybe find a party that's appropriate. It might just be going to your friend's house and playing a board game or something. Ask questions of people and then tell them, like, it's kind of that ping energy just to reconnect. Maybe go to a show that you like, go hear an artist that you like. Yeah, things like that. And that's not an everyday thing, but you can find a window to get back into the play energy of just having fun in the moment with people. So ultimately your burnout, it's just a message. It's telling you about yourself. It's telling you one of these two things. Like either I'm overdoing my saviors, I'm really in my comfort zone, or I'm trying to make up for what I'm not so much that I've just like fixated on that. So just know it's not failure, your burnout. It's just a message of your soul, your body telling you, hey, let's reassess. Let's look at ourselves and let's see where the energy is not flowing in my life. Let me see if there's anything from my journey. I feel like something, I don't know if it's totally true, but I feel like the third animal is really significant for fulfillment. I want to look at that more. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So I'm seeing the saviors, you just do them. You're just like always doing them. You might deny it, you're like, but everybody around you, they see that you do those two things. You're maybe like really sleep consume. You're really consume play. You're really blast sleep or sleep blast. But your third one, I've noticed a resistance towards the third one within myself. But when I do it, there's something like purpose connected to it. I'm seeing that. It's one of my own NI observations. There's fulfillment. It's like the bridge to balance. I almost see like when you begin to do your third one a little more often, maybe more often than the last, like looking at what is balance. It's something, it's got a piece in there. I don't have it totally defined. So picturing the last one, find a way to do it. Find a way to kind of get something moving in that area. The third one, all the more incorporate it in your life. Not as much as the saviors, but like find it even a little more regular. And I just feel like it's like the bridge to like flow. Everything starts to balance out. The fulfillment's higher. I've just found something really fulfilling for me. Like I consider myself not a teacher. I'm a consume play person. I'm a doer, I'm a learner. Like I've always said that about music. Like I play guitar, I play drums, I play keyboard, bass. And I'm like, "Oh, I like to play music. I don't want to teach it. I like to consume on typology, OP, Enneagram. I've been learning about it. I like to play and see it and kind of discuss like the just a random free flow conversations with people, but blasting is actually a big part of what all my consume and play is for, you know? So me beginning to have like a regular blasting routine in my life, and like having a flow of the planning side that it's like batching, you know, I'm giving a lot of my own stuff. I don't know if it's relevant to the video. It's relevant to types who are similar to me. But yeah, beginning to batch content to be ahead, but to do that in a way that it's contained in parts of my week. And if I'm like faithful to those moments, then I get to just it not be overwhelming the way it's not all consuming that I'm in planning and blast all the time. So I'm learning to like in bringing in these other parts of my life that they don't become all consuming, that I just like am not living a life that has my saviors in it. Like it is a real, I'm putting it this way, like trying to be transparent that the ditch is easy to fall into. It's easy to fall into. So find and balance. I would just say be patient with yourself, give yourself grace. It takes time to find the rhythm. I can find something that I think is I'm like, oh, this is going to work for me. I'm going to do this. 5 weeks into it, I'm like, oh, I'm so drained. I'm like, what part drained me? I need to tweak. I learned something that was valuable, but like, what does balance look like? How do I find my rhythm? So just know that this flow of energy, it's trial and error. So I'm throwing out my advice that I have in the moment. And I also want to share my journey within my own animal stack. Yeah, to help you see that it is a process. It is a process to return to your rhythm. And yeah, so I'm gonna continue with, let's move on to returning to rhythm. Just kind of a summary. So this is what returning to rhythm actually looks like. It's not abandoning your strengths, but letting your other animals breathe. Yeah, letting them breathe. For me, it's letting blast be there. It's easy for me to just not feel responsible for the teaching part. Oh, you want to know? Go watch it yourself. um, Here's all the videos I watched, and somebody's like, I've had friends tell me this, or just people that I met too, that I'll be like, oh, go watch this about this and this, and they're like, no, I want to hear you talk about it. I want to hear you explain the product. You tell me. Why did you buy it? Not just the video that I watched that led to me buying that. Like, why are you doing it? Why did you choose this? Yeah. And then also I can feel very like, I got nothing to blast. That's the lack of sleep, right? I got nothing to blast. I don't have known information. And I start looking, I'm like, no, I could actually talk about this. I could talk about this. I could talk about this. So it's like being a steward of like, okay, those topics. Okay, that's a topic. That's a topic. I can give on that. If I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know about it, I know something on it. I know a little bit. I know more than somebody who doesn't know about it at all, you know? So that's the flow. And still enjoying consuming my life. Still taking in information that I like to learn, or I love watching movies with my husband. That's what we like to do all the time. So, and I love playing with friends. I love having conversations kind of rolling voice memos throughout the day talking to people. I love that. I love a good free flow. And then just be like, hey guys, I need to go make a video. I'll be back. I'm not available right now. I'm off planning for a little bit. So, for what it's worth, that's my story. I'd love to hear your journey with your animals. I'd love to hear the realness of it. I try to simulate some of it, but like I'm most acquainted with mine and I want to hear your journey. So yeah. Some last advice, you don't need to master your last animal, but you do need to stop ignoring it. You don't have to stop being who you are, but you do need to notice when your wiring is out of sync. Yes, you don't have to stop being what you are. Love what you are. Love your saviors. But notice when you're out of sync. Notice when something's feeling a little dead. Something's not moving. You've been running from public speaking because you're afraid, but you have such a message in you. You have something you know the world needs. Like that's a very real example of like why you have to get your energy moving in an area you're not used to. Like what if I'm thinking like I don't talk good? That's the thing about low blasts. Like I don't talk good. I need to start the video over. Like literally doing this video, I did a good like it's embarrassing to say, a good like 15 redos to start the beginning because I kept glitching on the beginning of the video. But like, I just got to keep going. I just got to keep going. That I can come to this place where my blast feels like me. It feels okay for what I need, right? I feel as an ESTP, my outline becomes anchors for me to remember what I already carry on the topic, what I actually already want to say on it. Because like my default is like my sleep is completely feminine. It's my last animal. It's using my weakest function. So my NI, I could just feel like a blank canvas with nothing on the inside. Just like, hey y'all, just ready to play, ready to consume and ready to play. Like just reactive. I'm just reactive with you in the moment. Yeah. So since my inner world is completely feminine, it's like, I have to, like, another vulnerable moment, like, I have to be okay with that. I'm using an outline to remember my thoughts. And I struggle with it. Like, I'll be like, I sound like I'm reading a script. But, like, this is my thoughts. This is what I wanted to share on. These are the anchor points I wanted to make. And this is how I work with me without having to, like, bogged down on the heavy sleep energy. Like this helps me, like this is like my sleep externally, right? I slept on it, I created the outline, I got this is my point, and then it's just in the file. It's just like I pull it out when I'm ready to make the video. So I hope that helps you. If you're sleep blast, maybe it really helped you. If you're an EP type with sleep blast, pulling on your last function to blast. So yeah, notice when your wiring is out of sync. Notice whenever what's in you isn't coming out. Notice when you're too in the out that you don't know who you are. You don't know what you want in life. You don't know what's fulfilling for you. Like you need to go in. Notice the imbalance, but don't stop being what you are. There is a rhythm, there is a flow for you, and it's your job to find it. It really is. It's your journey to discover that. And burnout is not just tiredness, it's a sign that your current way of being isn't sustainable. Yeah. Your current way of being isn't sustainable. So if you're feeling burnt out, sometimes the bravest thing for you to do is to stop. To pause, to listen, and begin to realign. Because you weren't designed to live in exhaustion. You were designed to live in flow. That's it. Flow for each person is a real potential. It's what I want to help define more and more. And I'd love to hear your stories of finding flow in the comments below. So if this helped you see your burnout in a new light, I'd love to hear about it. What animals do you tend to overuse, and which one are you learning to integrate? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. And if you're on a journey to bring more balance and alignment into your life, make sure to subscribe to Mind Map Wednesdays. We talk about objective personality, our energy, our cognitive functions, our masculinity, our femininity. We're all masculine and feminine in terms of how we use our functions. Learning about what parts is pushy, what parts is flexible. And to make this cognitive language more real and how you can see its usefulness in your everyday life, how does it show up for you? That's what I aim to define more and more as we go along here on the channel. So subscribe to the channel, follow me on Facebook, and share this episode with somebody else that you believe this would help them as well. To, if you sense like they're feeling kind of burnt out, they're feeling like they haven't been able to launch something that matters to them, or they're so out in the extroverted world, they can't take time to take in new information, they can't take time to reflect. Yeah, send this out to somebody you feel like this will be a blessing to. And we're all learning to live in flow, just one small shift at a time. This is what it's like. I don't claim to have all the solutions, all the answers. I just know I'm walking out my journey, and I want to give advice along the way, the things that I've learned. And I want to learn from you guys as well, what it looks like for you, because I know it's not the same for each one of us. It's very diverse, but there is a flow, a rhythm, alignment for each and every person. And yeah, guys, if you're looking for a community to have these types of conversations with, a group of people who are just looking at themselves, becoming more self-aware, wanting to define what growth looks like for them more and more, but in a community where you can have support, join the Patreon. I have a community with a Discord server. And you can talk about all things personality types, ask questions every single week. And I post a video answering your private questions within the community in the Patreon. And yeah, I'll make personalized content on the things that come up for you, anything that's on your mind. Yeah, so just more about us actually growing together in a more real, intimate way that we get to walk together in our process. So if that's something you are interested in, or if you just want to support the work that I do, become a patron. It's $7 a month. I really appreciate your support and would love to get to know you in the community if that's something you feel led to do. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching Mind Map Wednesday today, and come back, join us next week, subscribe to the channel. And if you got value out of the video, go on and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate hearing that it did make an impact in some way. And again, let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. All right, guys, that's it. Talk to you next time.